The Little Black Book of RuneScape cheating first surfaced on the web in September of 2002. It was then updated for the last time 1 year and 3 months later. It's a book not only from the beginning of RuneScape, but a book about RuneScape abuse as it was back then. I first found out about this book in 2010 or 11, and I've read it at least 10 times since. I've been meaning to share it with you too for quite a while. Now, I'm not going to cover the entire book. This video is about sharing the most interesting parts and expanding on sections that could use some expanding, historical context, what this eventually led to, things like this. If you're somebody who missed the old things only old RuneScape players would remember series, this is a video for you. Now, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to give a quick plug to my merch shop. So instead of taking a sponsor for this video, and hopefully all the videos going forward, me and my girlfriend have been creating some RuneScape related items as a way to help me invest more time into actually doing these videos. So if you like what I do and you want to support me with your money and get something fun in return to materialize your love for old school RuneScape, this is a pretty good way to do it. So we've been making some figurines. Right now there's Jad and the baby mole pet. They're made out of hard plastic. They're hand painted. My girlfriend literally spends hours on them. I feel a little bad for her. And they're a decent size. They're 3 inches by 3 inches. There's also a couple other miscellaneous items on there, but I'll let you take a look at those yourself. Anyways, if you want a coupon code, you can use first10. I believe there's still about 5 uses left on that. That'll give you $5 off of your order. And of course, the link is in the description. And without further ado, let's get back into this video. So this book was written by a person going by the name of EvilCowGod, and it's still available on his website today. I'll link to it in the description. The first section that I want to show to you is called It's Alive. And many of you know that in-game, if you don't move the camera, it'll slowly rotate. Well, there's a reason why that was added to the game. There's also a reason why you get automatically logged out after so many minutes of inactivity. So back when the game was first released, neither of these features existed, and it made it really easy for people to cheat. They only had to download a simple mouse recorder, the most popular being Ghost Mouse, and record their actions in-game, and then they could play them back infinitely, and there was nothing there to prevent them from doing that. EvilCowGod went on to write that macroing in this way became a big issue. At some point, a program known as AutoMiner by Pyrax grew to popularity, and that's really when cheating was at its peak during this era of RuneScape. Now, of course, Jagex had to do something about all of this cheating, and they did, and the EvilCowGod dubbed it the quote, Great Depression. He went on to say that overnight macroing in RuneScape died. Jagex released that clever update that would rotate the screen, and so these really rudimentary mouse recorders would break within 7 minutes. And that marked the start of the Great Depression, or the Dark Ages of cheating. From here, hundreds of layers of scam cheat websites thickened. People started to believe that macroing would never come again. He also wrote that during this time, only very obsessive players, such as the ones on screen now, were able to have high-ranking accounts, because heck, you couldn't cheat, you actually had to play the game legitly, and RuneScape Classic was a much more tedious game to play than old school RuneScape. There was no AFKing. Of course, we all know that RuneScape cheating didn't die there. So out of the Great Depression came a messiah. It was a new cheat under the name RuneBot. This bot was quite the anomaly because its level of sophistication was so much greater than its predecessors. So it was an edited version of the RuneScape client. That's something that we see modern bots do and clients like RuneLite do. And likewise, we see a lot of those modern features. For example, this bot was capable of allowing you to zoom your client in and out. Get a bigger field of view. It let you turn things off like Fog of War. That's that black fog that surrounds your game in RuneScape Classic. You could even play the game in 3 different screen sizes. RuneScape Classic by default was stuck to a very tiny little window. And then on top of that, its botting capabilities were beyond its predecessors. It actually had a feature where it would automatically bank. EvilCowGod wrote, quote, "This was the first cheat with this feature, and so far it has never been done again." Keep in mind, this is all 2002. One little tidbit that the EvilCowGod added in here too is that Jagex eventually found a way to detect RuneBot. They banned 200 to 300 people at once for using it. The whole service died, and some pornographer bought the domain name and started redirecting people to porn sites. He said that the bot was so popular that even after its death, people were still looking for it, so they would go to that URL. That's a little funny. Heck, maybe it was even Jagex that bought that domain name. Another interesting thing that the EvilCowGod wrote about is his abuse of secure.runescape.com. I want you to look very carefully at this image. This is the old RuneScape membership sign-up page of 2003. You'll notice at first glance that it looks like the EvilCowGod has plastered his logo onto this page. What's actually going on here is that the EvilCowGod found out how to change the get variable that's being passed into by the payments URL. So normally this variable would specify the payment type, be it Visa, MasterCard, or whatever else the payment options were in 2003. There's also another example that he put of him using this to have it display this, quote, "You have selected to pay by killing my next door neighbor Jeff. To continue with your killing my next door neighbor Jeff payment, please fill in the form below." What I really like is what he wrote to go along with this. So he said, quote, "If you think this is trivial, guess again. Imagine if somebody downloaded that damn list of RuneScape email addresses and sent them all to securerunescape.com with this variable as in order to become a moderator. Then thousands of people will sign up anticipating to become a moderator, then thousands of pissed off people demanding refunds will go to Jagex." Okay, I'm not sure that it would have done that much damage, but he's got a point there. Even though this is a really simple hack and actually the website isn't functioning in any way other than how it's intended to function, it can be abused in ways that are undesirable, and that's why you see in modern web design people don't use get variables so much. The EvilCowGod went on to write about another cheat that came out after RuneBot. This one was known as AutoRune, and it was created by a Latvian programmer going by the name of Katne. I'm not even going to try, but his name directly translates to pest, which is kind of interesting because to Jagex, that's really what he became. AutoRune is the cheat that was behind the infamous party hat duplication glitch, and there's a million other little glitches that this program allowed people to do that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the background that EvilCowGod gave. So the creator of AutoRune went on to EvilCowGod's forum and claimed that he was making this really powerful cheat. And naturally, there was a lot of apprehension because this is the time after RuneBot fell and the community was plagued with these fake cheats that were really Trojans out there to steal your account. EvilCowGod wrote, quote, "I was very cynical at first, but after having read that several people had beta tested his macro and were outstanded it by its amazing power, it was then that I realized something great had happened. A new cheat of unprecedented power had been created for people to enjoy, and I very soon became a beta tester myself." Now, AutoRune for the time was amazing, arguably better than RuneBot. It was fully scriptable, you could do anything you could imagine with it, mine 14 copper, mine 14 tin ore in the southeast Varrock mine, walk all the way down to Lumbridge, smelt it into bars, then walk up to Doric's anvils, make the bars into short swords, and then walk all the way back to the Varrock sword shop to sell the swords, bank the money, and then repeat. The bots people were making with AutoRune were extremely sophisticated, and it accomplished this by acting as a middleman between the client and the RuneScape servers. So normally, when you click like a rock in game, the client sends a message to the RuneScape server saying, "Hey, I just clicked a rock," and the server says, "Oh yeah, you did do that. Let me carry out this task of you clicking a rock." And it'll walk your character over there, you'll have a chance of actually getting the rock. But what AutoRune did is instead of you actually clicking that rock, it would send a fake message to the RuneScape server saying, "Hey, I just clicked this rock." And the RuneScape server will go, "Oh yeah, let me carry out that task for you." So instead of actually needing to perform actions on the client, AutoRune could just pretend to perform those actions and the RuneScape server didn't know any difference. And through using this spoofing technology, it could perform any action in the game. Now, despite this, AutoRune didn't rise to amazing popularity, at least not right away like RuneBot did. And this was due mainly to the fact that during its infancy, it was paid software. It cost $15, you had to have an account to use it, and if you shared that account among multiple people, the creator would see that and he would ban you accordingly. Now, eventually it was released for free, and it did achieve that amazing popularity, and Jagex did have to do something about it. In fact, AutoRune was made unusable by Jagex on multiple occurrences, and the creator kept finding ways to get around their new security measures. Now, the amazing thing about AutoRune is because it could spoof actions in-game, it could get around any of the limitations opposed by the client. For example, on the client, it would not allow you to attack bankers. But AutoRune didn't have to abide by those limitations because it sat between the client and the server. And so you could use AutoRune to actually attack bankers in-game. And this was a huge problem for about a day, and there's a lot of funny screenshots of people killing bankers in-game, causing havoc using AutoRune. There's even some screenshots of Cat, the creator of AutoRune, talking to Mod Bennett after slaying a bunch of bankers in-game and then being sent to the infamous black hole. Another thing I wanted to point out to you is how they got around the fatigue system that Jagex introduced to stop botters from botting for long periods of time. Now, if you're unaware of what the fatigue system was, essentially every time you gained experience in game, your fatigue would increase a little bit. And then once it pinnacled at 100%, you would have to sleep, aka solve a CAPTCHA, to continue gaining experience. The EvilCowGod wrote about probably the most primitive method that the botters used to get around this implication. So it was a system known as Sleepwalker, and it was just a way to have other botters solve your CAPTCHAs. It was kind of like you scratch my back, I scratch your back type of deal. It was comprised of two parts, the IRC channel and the standalone application. So how it worked is a botter would go into the standalone application, they would see CAPTCHAs that other botters were facing, and they would type in the correct answer, earning credits towards having their own CAPTCHAs solved. An interesting technical aspect of this is that there was no notion of what bot was facing what CAPTCHA. Instead, when a CAPTCHA was solved by one of these botters earning credits, it would be sent to the IRC channel and then tried by every single bot using this system. So even if that wasn't their CAPTCHA that got sent in, they would try it anyways. Eventually, like the bots for RuneScape Classic, these auto-sleepers got more advanced. So instead of having this manual process where other botters would have to solve the CAPTCHAs for you, programs like Leo Sleep started using things like optical content recognition to actually look at the screen, recognize the CAPTCHA that was being displayed, and automatically find a solution for it. As the EvilCowGod put it, quote, "That ridiculous fatigue security screen that annoys thousands of players is now almost pointless." There's even more interesting facts in the Little Black Book of Cheating, but I'll leave you to explore those on your own. Again, the link to the book is in the description. Also, what you're seeing on screen now is a little gift from Metal TV, so they bought me some bonds to give back as a thank you to the community for using their software, and so at the end of the next few of my videos I get to give away these bonds in any way that I desire. So for this video I decided to just keep it simple and give them to some random noobs in World 1. Some of the reactions were actually quite funny. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and don't forget about those cute little figurines. Link is in the description. Until next time guys, love, peace, and chicken grease.